Hello and welcome to MGP290. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, the Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
And goodness me, this is a departure from 2017 MGP protocol, because we're sat here the night before a Comic-Con recording a podcast. Throughout the whole of last year, I managed to have the universe believing that this was a physical impossibility. The night before I have to drive a long way, I can't sit in front of a microphone. Yet here I am. How have I been hoodwinked into this? People are going to think I can do this all the time now.
I wondered that earlier. I thought, hang on a minute, Kev's going to an event tomorrow. He's probably already dosed up on Valium or something.
9:20, I was on the verge of sending you a text saying I'm not going to be ready to do this podcast, because it dawned on me about 8 o'clock that I can't sit there in my pants and my dressing gown at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning editing the vlog. I kind of have to do that tonight. So I threw a little something together. Just 15 minutes of drone footage with me humming the national anthem over the top. and that's going to go out tomorrow and everyone will be happy. So here we are doing a podcast.
I see. Okay. I'm just going to do a vlog when I get back, I think. I don't know.
It's because you're not on a tight schedule like I am. I have to be 5 o'clock on the dot, or else there's riots.
Yeah, I'm not really used to the scheduling part yet. I don't really know what to do with it.
Do a video at the same time every day, Sheepdog. That's my tip. If you're interested in a schedule, that's your starting point. Pick a time and release your videos at that time every day until someone tells you it's a bad idea, and then change the time. That's basically how I've been doing it. 7 a.m. for about 6 months until I realised that wasn't necessary and changed it to 5 p.m. and nobody cared.
I did consider trying to do 2 in one day and then releasing them lunchtime every day, but I thought that wouldn't.
Oh, that's pro levels of YouTube in there. You'll have your full YouTube license in no time. How are we all on this fine week anyway? Is everyone good? Everyone looking forward to me and Sheepdog going to Comic-Con tomorrow?
Yeah. So, it's nice not.
Anna and Pab get the house to themselves tomorrow. Just not because we all live in the same house, obviously.
Yes.
Anna and Pab are just going to be here by themselves tomorrow, knocking about the place, keeping themselves. They don't talk to each other when me and Sheepdog aren't there. We're the lively, communicative types. These two are just sitting opposite corners of the throne room, just glaring at each other, waiting for us to return. That's how I imagine it happens anyway.
They'll probably be hogging the games consoles like they normally do, so we can't get a look in.
Exactly. That's the real reason we don't play games, because these two don't let us have a go.
Yeah, of course it is.
It is. Have we all had a good week then? Anna, you've said one word since we started recording. Are you there?
Not really anything to say.
I asked you if you'd had a marvellous week. You had an emotional, eventful moment today.
Which was?
You went to Wagamama for the first time. You were delighted with yourself.
Yeah.
Was she there?
Well, I was there. It was delightful.
No, you, Wagamama.
I don't know if that's an actual person.
I think it is. And I want to get in touch with her and tell her how uncomfortable I feel basically sitting on bench seating with a weird woman sat next to me, listening to every word I say.
Is that one of those places where they don't do individual tables?
Yeah.
Weirdos.
Really?
It was weird. I was sat next to a stranger.
No chance.
Well, we were talking about how we're going to take you when we go down to London, because I want to see you using chopsticks. I think it will be fascinating.
Are we definitely not doing the 3 nights at Bodine's then, or whatever it is? That we did
No.
last year?
No, we're not.
I'm all for it. I like Bodine's. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I'm keen on Bodine's.
Yeah.
You enjoy ham?
I love ham. I had noodles with a rib in it. That's how much I love ham. Here he goes. Cartoon life incoming.
I'm not had too much happen this week. 2 weird things, I suppose.
The two.
I took my son out to the Pokemon raid, and we were chatting to our friends, and I said, good night. I was reversing off, and I noticed a seagull out the corner of my eye, just galling about on the floor. And I thought, what the hell is that doing? And I'm watching a seagull, and then I'm cracking jokes to myself while I'm watching it. And I'm thinking, what is it doing? No, in my head. Okay. And laughing at them in my head because, if you can't entertain yourself, who can you entertain? And I'm thinking, this seagull doesn't make any sense. What is it doing? Why is it there? What is it up to? And then whilst I'm thinking this and laughing at my jokes and whatever, I could just hear this crunching sound.
Oh, you monster.
And I'm thinking, well, no, it wasn't the seagull. That's what everyone's first instinct is. It was my car reversing into another car. Oh. Whilst I just was ignoring the sound of it. I was going too slow for it to do any damage.
Oh, my word.
It was just kind of going... I kind of stopped the car and thought, what is that? And then I got out and I realised there'd been this whoop sound from my reversing warning. But I was too busy.
Gets worse.
I'm picturing you playing Grand Theft Auto, trying to make your car completely squashed up by just banging it into a wall over and over again. Is that what you were doing then? Just telling yourself jokes about seagulls?
Well, no, I was just looking at it. It was like...
I want to hear one of these jokes. What joke? Give me an example of one joke about the seagull.
I can't even remember. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a one-liner. Whatever I thought when I looked at it. And then I think I laughed about whatever popped in my head. And then I was just wondering what it was doing and why it wasn't flying away, because it just seemed to be wandering around, unable to fly. And I think I was just so confused by it that I lost the sense to listen to the warning sound.
I'm just picturing the poor little housewife who was walking back to her car, just looking at this madman reversing into her car, laughing to himself.
I got out and had a look, and there was no mark at all on either car. I was in such a panic, and then the people that I'd been talking to, suddenly my phone went off with a load of messages just saying, "Run!" Like nobody saw anything. You're innocent. And it was just like... Okay, so I just spun off home, and and then when I got up the next day, and in the local deeping group, someone had posted that someone had reversed into their car, and I had a heart attack. I just thought, oh no, they're onto me, but they were talking about a car in the middle of Peterborough somewhere in a car park outside the supermarket or something, and I was like, okay, I'm all right. Victimless crime.
Plus, I would question how someone can be that specific if they're moaning about getting back to their car. How do they know someone reversed into it? They could have gone into it straight.
No, you're right. You are right.
Eerily specific. They reversed into it with the left-hand side of their car. Yeah. What was your other cartoon moment, Sheepdog?
Oh, hang on a minute. I've drawn a blank. Oh, yeah. I did about it on my video. I went to an event yesterday in London. And do you know, I used to have the knack of being able to go up and get free stuff off of people.
I'm familiar with
then it kind of went a bit dry. I don't know if I just bottled it or what, but I seem to have reclaimed it. I was at an event yesterday, and I reclaimed it in a typical greedy man fashion of I wanted a biscuit off a table, but I didn't have any reason to get the biscuit off the table. So I walked up to the table and just started flicking through a leaflet. And then I thought, I've read enough words off this piece of paper. I'm going to help myself to a biscuit now. And as I went to help myself to a biscuit, this woman just sort of went, "Do you want a bag?" And handed me a bag that had 3 biscuits in it, or 6 biscuits, in fact, because it was like 2 in each pack, as well as a load of other random thing like pens, pencils, and paper. So then I just felt so enlivened by the fact that I'd got these biscuits. It's probably the sugar rush from the biscuits, to be fair. But I just went to every table and did the same thing. And so I went to a table where a guy was talking about I don't really understand what his business is. He said to save paper, you could invest in his software, so you could basically get documents, send them electronically. So first of his email so far, but then he would print them out and send them locally. And he reckoned that would somehow save paper, but he was still using paper on the other end. So I don't really get what he was doing.
That doesn't save paper.
So he's telling me all about this, and I'm thinking, what are you on about? I don't get it. I don't understand. I only came over here because there's something in that bag and I want to know what it is. And then he just randomly goes, "Would you like a tree?" And I was like, "Oh, what?" And he just handed me this bag and it had a tree in it. And I've got it sat in front of me at the moment in a vase because
what?
They
don't work like that.
I know that. It's a cherry tree. And he was just handing them out at this event. He said, "Oh yeah, we're trying to save the environment, so we're giving away trees. We want to save paper." I don't really think people are cutting down cherry trees to make paper, but his point, probably had some sort of merit to it. But yeah, I ended up walking around London with this tree in a bag. Got home, gave it to my wife. She was very confused. She said she was going to bury it in the garden. Not the whole thing, obviously, just the end. And yeah, it's going to snow this weekend, isn't it? So I said to her, well, don't put it in the garden yet because you probably end up killing it. So she put it in a vase until such time as we can bury it. But,
Hang on. What have you got? You've just what? You've got a tree.
I want to adjust some of the language being used here. I don't know that you bury a tree, Sheepdog. I think you plant it.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, I'll have that.
Because I think burying a tree indicates the entire tree's going under the ground, like when you bury the evidence.
Maybe that's where I've got the word.
I think that probably is where you got the word from. I also need to pick you up on, I don't know if you said it just there because I wasn't listening because I watched your video. But you did mention on the video that it was an edible tree, which again, not an edible tree. It does produce edible fruit.
I think that's what I meant.
Now it may be what you meant, but I went outside and bit a tree, and they're not very tasty.
Do I need to start remembering to put like legal disclaimers in?
I think I should.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. I'm watching this. This looks like a log.
Why is Anna not coming up under Miss Lelugia? Oh, there she is. I'm tweeting you a picture of it in its vase. It's in a protective case thing. I've not actually looked in it. And I think the idea is it will grow from that.
Okay.
That's a weird thing. Why don't you go bury that in the garden, Sheepdog?
I will do.
Do you own a spade?
Probably. I'm pretty sure my wife's buried some rats in our garden.
Of course she has. Of course she has. Why wouldn't she have buried rats in the garden?
Pet rats that died, not just general rats.
Not what you said, though, was it?
One of them got dug up. The other one.
By who?
I don't know, but it was all over the garden, apparently. I didn't see it. I was at work.
You know what the moral of that tale is?
What?
Stop burying rats in the garden.
Well, that's why I didn't take my axolotl back from the vets. I don't know if that... Have we done a show since then? But I
don't know.
They euthanized her, and they were like, "Do you want to take the body home?" And I said, "Well, you cremate her." Bless her, because I thought I don't want to be dug up in the garden.
Otherwise, my wife's just going to put her with the rats.
Well, I'm kind of... So when she said, where do you want to bury the tree, plant the tree, I kind of thought the only place is worth doing it, I'd worry about accidentally digging up dead pets now. We didn't really plan it through, did we? We should have put them all under the same slab or something in the garden, and only lifted the slab to bury more, perhaps. But anyway, we can't. I don't know what we're going to do with this tree. I'm tempted to see how long I can keep it alive in the house. Have a house tree.
It's not going to produce many cherries if you just keep it in the house, I don't think.
We buy a window.
No, it needs sunlight and stuff.
And roots.
A window.
Yeah.
Well, the roots don't come from nature. It comes from the tree, Kev.
Yeah, but they're not going to have much joy just hitting the bottom of a vase, are they? Let me clarify what I meant. They need some soil for the roots to be in.
Well, I'll put some soil in the vase, shall I?
I think you probably should.
Okay.
Yeah. But so that was interesting. I had great fun in London on the way back, catching Pokemon and stuff. That was all good. I actually did a rather large amount of walking for me.
How much is a large amount of walking for you?
I don't even know, to be honest. It depends how far apart Earl's Court and the Olympia are. Probably not that far.
Not that far. Don't they connect to each other around the back?
Actually, I don't remember if it's Earl's Court I walked to. I think it was Kensington, something or other. I don't know. I was still in Kensington, so I can't walk that far.
Goodness me. We used to do that route 3 times a day for old style Eurogamer. Back and forth. Right, we're going to talk about some video games anyway.
Yeah. I thought we already had. Go on.
Well, I have played a video game, an almost new release video game that came out today, but also came out 10 10 years ago. I have been enjoying Burnout Paradise Remastered. Not as much as Andy's been enjoying it. It's now his evening routine. He plays it every night, and he likes smashing the things that you go around and collect in it. But I had a couple of hours on it when it came out in EA Access over the weekend. It was officially released today. It's only 30 quid as well with all the DLC, and it's been polished up and looks very pretty. And I was a bit disappointed that it didn't carry my progress over from the Xbox 360. So I was hoping I was going to go. I mean, that would have been an unreasonable thing to expect, but I was hoping I was just going to turn it on and just carry on where I got to. I think I did finish it, so it wouldn't have been much of a game if that had been the case. But I just drove around for probably 2 hours on Saturday night, didn't do a single race, just drove around, smashing through billboards, smashing through the little yellow fences, and having an absolute whale of a time. That game is so much fun, just driving around, discovering all the little secret places and smashing through stuff. You don't even need to race in it. That's enough of a game for me, just collecting all those things. And that's pretty much what Andy's been doing all week as well, and he's really enjoying doing it. He's got more than me at the moment, which I don't mind because he's played it more. That's okay. He's not better than me.
Officially, I have more than you because he was on my thing, so now he has 0 again, or whatever he's got this evening.
So somehow, despite not playing it, you're in the lead. He's second and I'm bottom, despite completing the game in the past. There's no justice in this world.
There's plenty of it.
But if there are anyone out there, maybe some of our younger listeners, if such a thing exists, but if there is anybody out there who didn't have the absolute pleasure of Burnout Paradise, I mean, it must be 10 years ago now that this game came out on the 360 and the PS3.
It is 10-year anniversary.
Oh, there you go. If you missed out on it the first time round, this has got to be an absolute must-buy if you've got any interest in racing games at all. This is where it was games like this and Test Drive Unlimited that spawned the likes of Forza Horizon, which is now like the pinnacle of racing, unless you just like doing laps because you're boring. But like fun racing games, they came from this. You can see the signs of what the genre moved on to become, but it's still just ridiculously fun. I haven't even had a chance to take it online yet, but it's bringing back memories of just spending evenings driving around, driving across Paradise City, setting up little missions, smashing through stuff, running people off the road. It's just a great laugh. And I urge everyone to go and get it so you can play online with me at some point. This might be the thing that gets me back playing a game online again, because it's just brilliant. Go buy Burnout Paradise. Buy it right now. Pab, buy it. Sheepdog, buy it. Anna,
is it Xbox you've got it on?
Yeah.
I love Burnout.
I was meant to get it, and I completely forgot this evening. I was going to buy it when I got in, but then I
realized. Pause and go fetch it, and then we'll continue.
How much was it?
£30. And that's with all the DLC.
Yeah, everything.
Yep.
I'll probably get it.
You should get it. It's just a really good game.
I was rubbing an hour in because I was thinking, am I going to get as much use out of it as can I just play Forza Horizon 3 and get everything out of that as much?
You can probably get the same gameplay experience out of Forza Horizon 3, but you don't get that nostalgia kick. And they have nicely polished it up. And there's just no, as good as Forza Horizon 3 is, it doesn't offer anything as satisfying. Discovering a secret little bit of track that has a ramp at the end of it that takes you for a super jump and then through a billboard, and just the combination of those things. It's just a lovely, lovely, lovely game.
At what point do I confess that I didn't play Burnout Paradise?
Are you serious? You never played it?
I played it maybe.
Did you
about
just not
2
have
years
thumbs
ago?
10 years ago?
I played it about 2 years ago on the PC when it was like cheap in a Steam sale, and I played it for about 20 minutes going, all right.
I'm driving up to Bolton to thump you in the mouth after that comment. That's ridiculous.
I don't dispute that it's a good game. It's just,
be careful what you say now.
I think Takedown was here when I played.
You telling me that neither of you played Burnout Paradise?
No, I only played Takedown.
Disgusting creatures. Go buy it now.
I only know it from the Go Betty Go song. Does it have all the old songs on it at all?
Yeah,
or?
There's lots of songs.
Yeah.
But Burnout Paradise is proper. There's an argument that it is the greatest racing game ever made.
Oh, I mean, people dispute it. It is the greatest game of the last generation.
Oh yeah, I would say it's definitely up there.
So
it was genre defining perfection.
What's different between Takedown and Paradise?
Paradise is a complete open world
yeah.
city. You just have an entire city to go and do whatever you want, and it's like Grand Theft Auto without the killing the whores or the getting out of the car.
It's what gave the template for Forza Horizon, like Kev said. Forza Horizon wouldn't be the game without Burnout Paradise, pretty much.
Indeed,
'cause that's what it is. It is more or less that.
It's just good. Go buy.
I probably will over the weekend.
Sheepdog should as well.
Well, now I'm realising it's not Takedown. I only really like the causing as much crash damage as I could. Part of
You
it
can
all.
still do that. And it's the joy of Burnout Paradise is you can do whatever you please. Do whatever you want. If you want to go and cause loads of crash damage, you go cause the crash damage.
There's basically an activity at every intersection.
Yeah, every junction on every road, there's something to do. It might be a race, it might be a time trial, it might be a crash site, it might be a jump or a trick. And you can just ignore all of them. You can do all. Go anywhere. When they have races, they just give you the start point and the end point. The route is completely up to you. So you're rewarded for the more you play the game, because the more you learn the layout of the city and learn the shortcuts, the better you're going to be in races. So it's not even just about who's got the best driving skill. It's about who knows the best shortcut, which then encourages the exploration, and it all just feeds back in on itself. And it's just it was a thing of beauty, and it's still got it now.
And it's in 4K on the Xbox One and all that gibberish.
Yeah. That's me done. I've played Football Manager 2.
Get out. No way.
I know. I'm playing it right now. I'll level with you, Pab. I'm playing it as I say these words.
Oh, no, I can see everything.
Right, you lot talk amongst yourselves. I've got substitutions to make. Genuinely, just talk amongst yourselves. I'm actually playing Football Manager.
Okay.
Go on, Pab.
While you were playing Burnout last Saturday evening, I was playing the Sea of Thieves beta.
Right, hold on. What time? Because I want to see if that's a true statement.
That was about, I would say about 8, 9 o'clock ish.
Okay. Yeah, that was at the same time. You do see everything. This is eerie.
Yeah, I know my stuff. It's not hard to click on friends list on Xbox and see what you're doing.
Yeah, but when you've got as many friends on Xbox as I have, Pab, it's hard to differentiate between them all. So
I know. I'm the same. I've got loads of bots on mine as well. So yeah, it is the final beta for Sea of Thieves was last weekend, and I wanted to get. I've already bought the game. I already pre-ordered it. And I wanted to actually get a good look at what it actually is. And that game is incredibly fun if you're playing it with people. I don't know how fun it'll be playing it on your own. What we did, we spawned into the local establishment and drank a load of grog and got drunk immediately. And that is, I almost had to turn it off because I thought I was going to be sick playing that game. When you are drunk in that game, you're really hard to control the character, and the screen sort of sways like side to side, and it was making me like feel sick, made me feel nauseous just doing that. I was like, I just had to put the controller down and just not look at it for a couple of minutes till it calmed down. So once we did that, we came out the bar, and we went and took a mission and jumped onto the seas and sailed the ship around. Now, no, it's not your big thing, Kev, is it really? You're not a big boat.
That's why I won't play this game at any point.
Yeah. It's kind of fun. It really is kind of fun. It's like you've all pretty much got jobs. It's very analog in the sense of you all have to do a job. You can't, like all these games nowadays, like you've got this on this button, this button does this button does that. It's pretty much like you can look at a map, but you can only look at a map when you're given a quest, and the quest is to go to this island and dig up this thing that's X marks the spot. So once you've got that map, you've only got a picture of the island on your map. So then you've got to go down to into the bottom of the ship where the big map is, the big like world map is. You then got to match the picture on your map up with the one on the big map and find out where you are and decipher where you are and where this island is. Then you've got to sail your boat over to there and get the treasure. But it's all about like you've got to. Like one's got to steer the boat, one's got to work the sails, one's got to, you know what I mean, keep an eye on the front of the boat sort of thing, because that is something that is kind of important in this game, because otherwise you end up smashing into a lot of stuff. You can't see anything steering the boat, you can't see a thing because the sails are right in front of you. You can't see a thing, so you got someone navigating as well. And it's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun running around with your mates, doing this thing, and we did pile on some guy as well. Some guy just spawned into our world. I don't know if he was just new into the game. We just like right, get him. We loaded the cannons up and just absolutely sunk his ship. There's just something about this game that I know it's not your cup of tea really, but I really enjoyed it. I did at one point get in the cannon and get shot out of it onto an island. That was quite fun. I'm curious to see how it'll be when I actually get the game, because I'm not sure how many of my friends are getting it, if any. So I might be playing it on my own for a little bit. So we'll have to see how it is, because you can play it on your own. You can play one-man boats, which sounds incredibly difficult, because you have basically got to control everything then. But it's a smaller ship. It's not like you're charging around this massive 4-player ship. Ships vary in size based on how many players are in it. So I will be interested to see what it's actually like playing on single-player ships. So I'll get more back to you on next week's show with that, really. What else have I played? Right, I've started playing Fortnite. I don't know why.
I'm down. Well, I was downloading it before we started.
Yeah.
I haven't finished downloading it yet.
Yeah.
I will play it at some point over the weekend, probably.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Fortnite.
You want to get in on it, do you?
Okay.
I want to have a go.
It's
I
more
don't like
PUBG.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of playing a competitive shooter because I'm rubbish. But then on the flip side of it, I think, well, come on, seriously now, they're letting people play this on an iPhone. How hard can it be?
Well, let me know when you're doing it, and I will play with you if you want.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah. So
I will also play Kevin.
There you go.
Is it cross-platform?
Well, no, we've got a computer inside.
I don't know. I think it is, but I'm not certain. But you're probably easier doing it on.
So you're happy playing it on PC, are you, Anna?
I'll just use a controller.
You can use a controller. Controllers are fine. I use a controller.
That's all right then.
I use a controller. Just to point out to you, I reckon maybe 3 to 4 hours I've played this game, I've got 4 kills total. 4 kills. And I imagine that there's probably a good couple of dozen games that I've played, and I've got 4 kills total.
Are you enjoying it though?
There's something to it. There's something about it, but I think I'm still playing it like PUBG. Because there's a whole building aspect to the game where you get resources and you build stuff and you build forts sort of thing to protect yourself. I don't think like that. I still think it in PUBG mode where I'm just good. I'm just constantly just on the look for people. I got to 4th the other day, and I got to 4th with 1 kill. That's because I hid in a shack and nobody saw me for ages, and I sat in the shack for 20 minutes. I thought, that's not how to play PUBG. The amount of all these streamers I'm watching playing PUBG, just running around gunning 15, 20 people at a time. I got 1 kill and got to 4th. I don't know. I do kind of enjoy myself a little bit. There's something to it. There's a bit of progression. There's a battle pass type thing where you can progress through the levels for doing certain challenges and quests and stuff in game. So it's not always just about getting the kills. I mean, it is the main objective of the game, but there's like some things, if you're not as good at it, you could probably do some of the challenges and whatnot. But I will continue to play it because it's free. It's free.
Which is one of my favourite prices for things to do.
It's not a bad one, is it? It's not a bad one at all. So, yeah, we'll see about doing that over the weekend. What else did I play? Last weekend, I started playing. I got Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Really? I've had this since release and played it twice.
Yeah, I wanted to get it on release, but I just couldn't. At the time, it came out with a lot of other things, and I just couldn't justify paying full price for it. And it didn't go down in price for a real long time. And I thought to myself, I'm not buying it now because I might as well have bought it on release. I'm just going to pay full price for it now. I'm not doing it. I'll wait till the price drop. And it came down to £16 on I remember on the Ubisoft store on PC, and I was like, right, okay, I know people on the PC have got it, so I'll have people to play it with. So I went playing it with people. It's an all right game. It's all right to play with friends, just messing around, just go around this big. The one thing I found in the game was I couldn't follow the story that was going on. I don't know if there was even a story going on because I was just playing with people. It was just like, accept a mission, clicked it, and just go to this compound, clear out a compound, mission complete. Okay, accept the next mission, boom, go to this compound, clear it out, mission complete. I'm like, there's no real story going on. It feels like, the Far Cry missions where you just go out, clear out camps that way. It just felt like I was doing that a lot of the time. Just sat on the hill, just sniping people from a distance. Just picking them all off one at a time. There you go. Go and free the hostage in there. You're like, I mean, there's parts of it that are fun. It's fun doing it in places. But at no point did I think to myself, I'm following a story. There's nothing going on. And there's something about Bolivia. There's some cartel in Bolivia, and you're supposed to be working your way through this list of all the cartel's people. All I've been doing is freeing hostages.
They've taken over the country, haven't they?
Yeah, pretty much. But all I'm doing is freeing hostages from campsites. I don't know if that's just because I've been accepting quests, just because that's all they've been giving me is these side quests to do, these missions. But I don't know. I didn't mind the AI because you have to do the tutorial bit at the start. You have to do like the obligatory first mission on your own, and that was all right. That was all right doing it with the AI. You can tell them where to go and what have you. Tell them to go and do the sync shot thing where you can set up like you kill him, you kill him, and I'll kill him. 3, 2, 1, go. We'll all kill it. You'll shoot at the same time, and that's a nice little thing. But yeah, it's not. I don't know. I died. I'll tell you what I did do. I slid down a cliff and fell behind a barrel, and I couldn't get out. And my two friends I was playing with were in a big firefight, so I was sat behind a barrel for 20 minutes. And I couldn't get out. I was like, I can't get out. I'm not turning the game on and off again. You can get lost because apparently you can. If you can get line of sight of someone, you can teleport to them. But I couldn't teleport to them because they were in a firefight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they were in a firefight. So I was just sat there for 20 minutes, just sat behind a barrel, couldn't get out, just wedged in, just watching them shoot everyone. And I just was like, well, I'll get to you eventually. So yeah, I do like that game. But like I say, I need a lot of these games at the minute. I need people to play with. I'm not playing many single player games at the minute. There's not many story heavy games.
I can recommend Football Manager. That's a pretty decent one. Yeah,
I'm not very good at it. You last time.
No, from iPad.
You're better than me because last time I did it, I told the entire squad to play in the under-23s. So I was playing with the under-17 squad. Do you remember that now?
I mean, that's just buffoonery.
That exactly. Told you. And I couldn't fathom how to turn it off. So they were constantly playing for the under-23s, the entire first team. And I was playing with the under-17s. I was like the youth manager. So
you're a silly bear.
I know. One last thing I did get yesterday on the Switch, Cluster Truck. I may have talked about it before, this game, when it came out on PC. It's a really good game. Basic premise is you just get these levels like 3D platforming levels where you have a series of trucks going forward to a goal point, and you have to jump across the trucks to get to the end goal. It's simple as that. Each level is just next truck, and goal. But then there comes like a series of obstacles, like sometimes there's oncoming traffic. There's like these big spinning wheels and stuff like that, and sometimes the walls just close in on you. And you've got to jump over these trucks to get to it, and it's quite an addictive, like one more go type of game, because it's like you die straight back in, you die straight back in. It's just quick. And I really like it. There's a real challenge to it, and you get there's style points, and there's all these there's rating at the end of each level sort of thing. There's like how many points you got in this level, and there's leaderboards as well, so you can go up against your friends and compare scores. It's really good. It's really, really good. I like to say, I might have mentioned it early on in a show, probably last year now. But yeah, I do like Cluster Truck, and as soon as I saw it on Switch, I was like, yep, straight away, bit by it. Because it's a great game just to pick up and put down. You can just do a level, put it down again. So yeah, that is pretty much my week. It's been a busy week.
Splendid. And what have you other rascals been up to?
Not much.
I suspect because you took cigarettes into university. Not
real ones.
Yeah.
What?
Anna made an arson device. Basically made a bomb.
What?
I didn't make a bomb. I made a combustion delay incinerary device, actually.
Wow.
Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, so, like... Oh, excuse me. Oh, tired.
Is that basically a time bomb?
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. So I made them, took them into uni. That was fun. I made it all. I made them because I asked the teacher, and apparently I wasn't allowed to take in matches. So I had to get the matches. I had to snip the heads off them, like the striky bits, and then paint them red with nail varnish to look like matches.
Explain how this thing works. So for the dear listeners, what did you actually make?
Right. So they were fake cigarettes.
Okay.
Right, and then so you got the cigarette, and at the other, as long as it's got a filter. It has to have a filter, because if you don't have a filter, it won't smolder. It won't. What's the word? It won't stay alight if it doesn't have a filter. If it's a roll up, it won't stay lit. So you have the cigarette, and then at the end of the cigarette, where the filter is, you put like a few matches, and around the matches you put paper, and then around that paper you put an elastic band. So when it smolders down, it sets light to the matches. The matches set light to the paper, and then you have a fire.
Okay.
Obviously, you set that next to something that is combustible.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So I made it because we were doing it about a case study, and we found about the pillow pyro. That's what his name was in America, and that was his MO. And I made it.
His parents cursed him, naming him that at birth.
Oh, no, that wasn't his name. That's what they gave him in California, because he would go into like haberdasheries. Yeah, he would go into them places and set these devices next to all the linen and pillows and.
You realise if our local haberdasher goes up in flames, I'm now blaming you. We do have one. I take my son's Pokemon toys there to get them haberdashed.
The things that he was setting.
How often does he need to have his toys haberdashed?
Twice.
Okay.
They're the ones you get at Comic-Con, so they always develop bloody holes, don't they? So I took them to the haberdashers rather.
You can just sew them yourself, you know.
Yeah, but not professionally.
I see. Anna, continue.
The things he used to set fire to, you're no longer allowed to stock them in shops anymore. So, yeah. But, and you're not allowed to smoke it in shops. So if someone could smell a cigarette, you'd instantly know. But, yeah, I did that. I played 1 minute of Burnout before it was taken off me.
And you still got more points than Kev.
Well, because Andy doesn't have an account. He has an account now because I made him one, but he was on my side playing it because he used to love this game when he was littler, and his TV is broken, so he can't play it on his PS3. And then he was on his chair on his iPad taking no, like, what I was doing. As soon as that song came on, his eyes were, like, on the screen. He had put the iPad down and he was sat on me within a minute. So I was like, bless him. So I got
very similar to when I walked in the room and saw that it was being played. I was also sat on Anna within a minute, ready to have a go on it.
He literally was, though. Kevin did the same. No one would let me play that game. They're mean. So I think I've played a little bit of Watch Dogs 2 again.
Yeah.
I'm bored. I just want something to play. So
is it like Assassin's Creed?
A little bit, yeah. It's just like because you've got the drones in it.
Yes.
And stuff like that, and that's all Ubisoft at the moment. They like having something you can put in the air. So I've just gone back to that for a little bit. I like Watch Dogs 2. It's good.
It's a nice world to be in, I thought.
Yeah, and I like the story of the fact that they're trying what they're trying to do about the whole selling your private information to companies to make money and all that. So. That's good, but that's about it. I'm at that stage where I want my new game. It's not out for another 10 days, and I've got do you know what I mean?
New games are coming now. They're on the horizon, so to speak.
Yeah,
they're around the corner. You got Thieves next week. You got Ni no Kuni next week. Got all sorts of good stuff coming up in the next month or so. It's building up again now, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's it's the 16th today, so...
Yes.
Hold on, where's my calendar? So, we've got next... No, it can't be then. Hold on. Next Thursday? No, next Friday, we've got Get Out. I think that's next Friday. Yeah. The prison one.
A Way Out.
A Way Out? Is it really next week?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, yeah.
I mean, Dana's going to be making her Twitch debut.
We'll see.
Okay.
No, I've already promised my viewers that we're playing it.
And then on the 27th, which is a Tuesday, which is my first week off of uni, comes Far Cry 5. And I'm going to get...
yes, I pre-ordered that as well. Wow.
Yes, I at the moment, I liked Ni no Kuni, but that at the moment is going to be my game when I finish uni in about 2 months. So, but I want to get Far Cry. I want to be in that world for a few days and then get on with the rest of my work. But I just want that at the moment, and I keep looking at it. I keep looking at videos and thinking, yeah. But I like what I'm seeing because everyone's going, oh, it's just like Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4. I'm like, not really. There's a joke tower. So you know how in other games, this is the tiniest border. In other games, you would have to go to a radio tower to activate the area. Yeah. In this game, they go, right, go to your tower, and you're like, oh, okay, fine. And that's the only tower you'll do in the whole game. Because you will find information different ways, like in books and people. And that's good. I like that you'll feel more immersed. There's no mini-map. I don't like that. I like having a mini-map in any game. Like when I played Elex that time, that didn't have a mini-map, and that drives me insane. I like to have a map because I like to know where I'm going.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Because Watch Dogs has one, and I think Assassin's Creed might have one.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I'm looking at it now. I don't, but I have just got to level 40 on that.
Oh, congrats.
So, excellent to me.
Yeah.
I got to level, because I think that's the top level, is it? Maybe?
No, not with the DLC.
Oh, not with DLC.
DLC did put up. I think that's level cap for regular game, no base game.
Yeah, so I got to that. But that's it. That's all I've done. That's all I have. I don't know, it's been a busy week. I've had assessments and presentations and Andy and Kevin losing his mind.
I can imagine that. Kev's a handful.
Yeah, he really is.
I've had technical issues this week.
Oh, you've just been a pain, Kevin, all week.
My camera's broken. That's quite stressful for a YouTuber.
But that doesn't mean you have to be mean to me. That's it. Don't me. I let you. Did you just again?
No. I think that was Sheepdog.
No, it wasn't. I was silent. I was just laughing at the fact that you were being petulant.
But that's it. That's. I think that's it. When did we go to Toys R Us? When was that? Because I picked up a pop vinyl for a couple of quid. Kevin got a pop vinyl today.
Oh, B&M has got some serious pop vinyl bargains at the moment. I got Giant Man for a £10, Batman off of Dark Knight Returns for a £5. I got the Dark Knight Returns action figure set that I saw in Forbidden Planet for like 40 quid. That was 25 quid. I got an enormous Stone Cold Steve Austin. I bought some toys in B&M this week. It's been excellent. I was getting warmed up for Comic-Con by buying those toys in B&M.
So the whole event can be bought in B&M now because all the sweets are, aren't they?
Yeah, I think what basically was Comic-Con, but it was the Comic-Con preview.
I haven't played anything new that I haven't already spoken about. It's only been Pokemon stuff, so I can skip. But I did.
No, you can't.
I'm annoyed that Ni no Kuni 1 hasn't been remastered anywhere for this new one coming out on a different generation. I never finished that. And I just had a quick look to check I wasn't in the wrong, and I'm not. It's not out anywhere. Other than
the PlayStation, is it PlayStation Now? What's the streaming one, Anna?
It's on PlayStation Now, yeah.
Yeah.
What does that work? That I can stream that to my PS4 then?
It's like Netflix.
Oh, is it on PlayStation Now? I never saw it when I was on there.
Maybe it's not. I mean, I would have thought it would be because it's quite a big game and.
I'm guessing they're not connected. Then I'm guessing it's not like a direct sequel.
I don't know. I have no clue, mate. I think it is.
I think it's a prequel, and you've got village building in it.
Because if it's not connected, then it's less of a problem. But I've avoided getting it because I have this delusion that one day I'll go back and play the first one first.
We've all been there. I'll go back to it. I
mean, I was going to say, could it even be available on the Vita somehow? But it wouldn't be, would it?
No. PS3 only, I'm afraid.
God damn. Well, I've got nothing then.
Right, movies and TV then.
Did you see the Infinity War trailer?
No.
Yes. Oh, Kev, you're missing out.
It looks very good.
I'll probably watch the film, so I doubt I will miss out.
No, but it's the hype. It came out today.
I don't like watching trailers. I don't really watch any trailers for movies usually.
I get your point.
I don't play game demos.
I get your point. I often don't. I think I only really watch Avenger promos because they're usually, an insight into the format of the film, which I like to see. It looks fantastic. I mean, it looks busy as hell. Mm-hmm. Seems to have aligned certain characters with each other for the duration of the film, kind of thing.
Although he's missing Hawkeye from what people are saying.
If Hawkeye's not in it, I'm not interested.
Hawkeye's not in any of the trailer whatsoever.
That doesn't mean he won't be in it, though. Surely,
no, it doesn't.
Wasn't he just the last time he was in the film? He was just retired, wasn't he?
No, that was Civil War, I think.
Yeah, he'd kind of gone to live on his farm.
Yeah, so he might well be retired now.
I'm sure he'll return in it, though, surely.
Yeah, I think he probably will.
He's not dead or anything, he's just on a farm.
Yeah.
But no, I can't wait for that. It's not long till it's out. I'm gutted that Black Panther isn't at the cinemas anymore. I can't go and see it. Yep, it is finished.
Oh, they watched it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's not at the cinema anymore. I looked to go and it is gone. Or at least it was. I'll double check it's not out still.
Yeah, I've had a few people tell me it was Thursday was its final day.
Kevin.
Really? Wow.
Annika.
Heads up that if you want to play Fortnite, you need to know at least 40 minutes before you want to play it.
Why?
Because I'm waiting in a queue for 36 minutes and 15 seconds right now.
Yeah, it's busy at the minute. It's kind of
I can't get on. It's just logging in. I can't even play the single player. It's that busy.
News just in, I'm completely wrong. When I looked at the cinema times last week, I said to Kev, it ends on Thursday. It's not there Friday. It looks like they just didn't have a timetable past Thursday because it's on today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. It's not there Tuesday, as far as I can see. Unless it drops down the list. Yeah, it seems it ends on Tuesday. They must have heard me praying to the heavens. Oh no, it is there Tuesday. I just can't read. Jeez.
I can imagine it'll be there all the way till Avengers.
Well, it's like their biggest one, isn't it? It's made the most.
It's one of the biggest ones.
Ah, well, I feel like my prayers have been answered because I was genuinely, even watching the promo, I was crying out loud. How have I missed this? They look like they're going to at least play a reasonably sized part in this film.
Yeah.
And it would have been the first one I didn't get to see at the cinema. I'm pretty sure I saw all the others at the cinema. So yeah, splendid. I'll try and see that on Sunday or something, depending if someone will have my children while I go and see it.
I think your wife already did that, didn't she?
Yeah.
You surely don't need to be knocking anyone else up now. You've had enough at this point, Sheepdog. You don't have to find someone to have your children every time you want to see a film. This is where you've been going wrong.
Yeah, I named them all after the films as well. I got Ultron, I got Thor, they're all there.
You're a monster.
But no, it does look very cool. I've only really otherwise watched more Weeds. I'm on midway through season 4 of that now.
You're catching us up. I don't think we've touched it at all this week.
We watched half of it, but it's too sweary to have around children.
I can imagine, yeah. Where are you now?
We're much further ahead than you, so we won't spoil. I think it's season 6 or 7. I'm not sure.
Okay.
7, I think.
The last one I watched, somebody came up through the floor of the back room of the shop.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's a good program. I'm enjoying it. It's not much to say. I've just been grinding through it. I think my wife's a bit fed up of watching the same program literally every night, but I like to define periods of my life by whatever I was watching in that month. I could be like, oh, that happened. Oh, and whilst that happened, I was doing this. It's good.
Splendid. I'm going to assume you don't ever watch Walking Dead now because you've started watching my Monday night streams to actively avoid The Walking Dead.
Well, it's not actively avoid it.
You don't watch my streams any other night.
Yeah, I have headphones in to watch your streams that night. It is actively avoiding, I guess, but it's because it's on in the room and I don't leave the room. So I put you on.
I don't mind being a distraction.
To be fair, I'm enjoying the. I can't remember what other nights you're on. I just know you happened to tweet that one first time that I had put headphones on and started looking at my laptop, and I thought, sorted. It was like I needed it and it was there. So if you do that every other time you're on and I happen to see it, I will eventually fall into the habit.
Who's colouring in the background?
I've been drawing for the past hour.
I can hear somebody colouring.
That's what your pencil's for.
Shading in the bat I drew.
So I can't remember.
I have some interesting news.
Hold on, we're still on The Walking Dead, Anna.
He just said bat, and I just want to tell everyone what your phone calls you. So find it funny.
It doesn't call me anything.
Think it might do, Kevin.
I don't think
I was a witness to when you made it call you Batman, Kevin.
Yeah.
He's got this whole bit he does now, but he's basically stealing jokes off of South Park now, but he's got his Alexa and his Siri all talking to each other and calling him Batman and stuff like that. He every time he runs out of content on his stream, he just starts shouting to Alexa. And everyone watching just goes, ah! Ordered me a catamaran.
It's got to the point now where people are making donations with instructions for that device. So when it does the text-to-speech, it interacts with the Echo. It's quite clever the way the whole thing. Gethin starts talking out my speakers because someone's given me a quid, and he starts chatting up Alexa, and then Siri chimes in, and it all gets a little bit messy. I need to set up Cortana and whatever the Google one's called.
I genuinely thought Gethin was a Welsh person that had donated enough to have his voice so he could just talk to you randomly. Because you were just responding to him and everything, and he seemed back. It baffled me when I realised it was just someone donating cash and having the right for a moment.
Exactly. That's the way the world works. So The Walking Dead, I don't really remember what happened in it this week. It was fairly uneventful again, if I recall. It
was the guy with the eyes.
Oh, yeah. This was the episode where it was just an episode about God, basically. And
do you know what? While I was watching you, I looked up and Gabriel had like really, really red eyes. And I thought, what the hell's going on? And then later on, again, I saw someone meet up with Carol, and I thought, so it's just whatever's been happening from their perspective. Do you know what I mean? I'm piecing it together without actually hearing it. And
the general gist is Gabriel's gone blind, but it doesn't matter because God's guiding his way.
Crying out loud.
And that was the story of the episode. And Maggie turned up, so she's not out of contract after all.
Interesting.
Unless this was the only bit she filmed.
How funny. Was it any good?
No, not really. I mean, it's just I've written this season off now. It's on so that I know where I am when the next season starts. But it reassures me that they've sacked the idiot who was in control of this season.
It seems so mad that you can't get that. I mean, we've talked about it enough, but not being able to get Walking Dead right makes you a pretty big failure, surely.
Well, the first season they got it pretty wrong as well. It seems quite easy to mess up. I think the difficulty is they come in and try and do it their own way to make it different. Well, this is like 6 seasons in now, and everyone knows what to expect, so I'm going to change things up, and I'm going to pretend time is irrelevant and tell the story in whatever order I damn well please. And I'll do it over and over again, and people love it and call it art.
Walking Dead's not ever going to win an art award, though, is it? Unless it's for zombie costumes.
But they are the most... I mean, they seem to try harder than any other program on TV to do arty things. They just need to get back to zombies killing folk.
Plus, they're not even doing... Because, like, Breaking Bad did arty things, but they were arty things that when they did them, I sat there thinking, this is really cool.
I think that's probably what's ruined The Walking Dead. They've got the box set of Breaking Bad like 2 seasons ago and thought, this is how you do telly that people love, is it?
Yeah. We need a cool montage and a cool... Yeah. When actually... And they've tried to do that irritating thing they do. They're still doing it, I've noticed. Again, because I only really pick up on the first few seconds, they keep doing the annoying, let's pick a really random song that people won't really know, and it's really out of place, and we'll just place it over the scene. And there was that annoying Easy Street one that they kept doing, and that's stolen from Breaking Bad. Not the song, but the style of, picking a random song and defining. They're just not very good. Arrogant and pretentious.
So, any other televisual experiences to discuss?
What have I?
I mean, it's a simple question, Pap.
I was going to say, Pap, are you going to talk or not? Because
I've been watching Dragon Ball Z again. I don't know why.
I think it's called Dragon Ball Z, but go on.
I don't know why I've started watching it. I listen to a podcast that do like 5 episodes at a time, so I started watching them in sync with the podcast episodes I listen to.
That's quite cool.
It's quite fun. So I've been doing that. What else have I done? I've watched Fastlane.
Splendid.
I did it a better way than you did, Kev, because I got to fast
forward. You didn't stay up until 4?
No, I fast forwarded all the trash, so pretty much half of it.
Yeah, so it took you like an hour and a half, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I normally do it. But I thought last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, I'll stay up. Basically, I stayed up thinking there's just no way we get through to the end of this pay-per-view without the Undertaker turning up. I was convinced the final moment before it went off air is John Cena's disconsolate in the ring. He has no route to WrestleMania, and then they don't even crowd just bong his bongs and have him stand at the top of the ramp and just point at him. I was convinced we were getting a moment, and then we didn't. And I sat there 4 a.m. in my living room, just wondering where my life had gone wrong. A year ago, I was a teacher, and now I watch wrestling in the middle of the night and get really disappointed in it.
Oh God! I think this is the point where they should start to phase him out.
Yeah, I genuinely think this is what it feels like when you're an alcoholic and you sober up for a few hours and you just look around you and think, this isn't what I remember. And that's what it was like. Oh, just luckily I went to bed, and then when I woke up the next morning, the pain had gone away. And it was just.
Sure you weren't having a heart attack?
Might have been. It would have spiced up the evening.
It was very much a nothing thing. There was no real. There was nothing change. Did anything change hands?
The US title, Randy
US
Orton
title,
won the US title. But it was a meaningless title change because it was always going to be the triple threat at WrestleMania between him, Bobby Roode, and Jinder Mahal. And it doesn't matter which one of the three is holding the title going into that. They're still setting up the same match. So it was a meaningless title change.
I found funny they kept panning back to Jinder in the back room watching it on the big screen. And his hype man stood behind him, staring at. It looked like he's staring at his back,
counting his roid acne.
Like, what the? Like, it's more interesting. Bizarre. Yeah, these like ones that are separated out between the two of them are kind of nothing shows now, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean it's the last one of them. So hopefully
it's good because
it'll be full of less filler filled.
Yeah, because there are all right matches in there. But nothing really that was going to shock anyone. No, it was fine. But what's next? WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a big one.
And that's another one I'll stay up late for. I mean, that'll be like an 8-hour show. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
So that'll be a proper all-nighter.
And when's that, Kevin?
April sometime.
2 weeks.
Oh.
I think it's the week after Insomnia. It better not be the day I'm at Insomnia. Or it won't be on Easter Sunday, will it? They're not that mental. So it'll be the week after Easter. Must be.
Maybe. 2 weeks from now.
I will look it up.
Easter Sunday.
It can't be. It's not then. There's not a chance they're doing WrestleMania on Easter Sunday.
Easter I suppose they do, don't they?
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
WrestleMania is, I don't know when it is. It's not Easter Sunday. I just know it's not going to be Easter Sunday. It's the 7th of April, so it's 3 weeks. It's the week after Easter.
Oh.
Or 8th of April, in fact, not the 7th.
That's all right then. Yeah. Well, I'll watch it after the fact and fast forward all the trash anyway, so
it'll be a 2-hour show for you.
Yeah, he said it was
8
6
hours
hour
for me.
Yeah.
Nice. Right, it's Comics O'Clock, I believe. I mentioned it at the end of last week's show that The Wicked and the Divine number 34 was out, and I know you're a trade man.
Yes,
but goodness me!
I don't know.
This is how we open up the final year. This is going to be a magnificent 12 issues of the medium. It was just very, very, very good, and I can't say any more than that without just spoiling it because it's just so incredibly well crafted. You see the difference between something like this where from the moment they started, from before issue 1 came out, they knew how many issues they would do and they knew where the story was going. They weaved together this elaborate plot and they did it perfectly. And then you compare it to The Walking Dead, which is just, right, we've got some baddies. Let's have 12 issues of fighting them. What should we do next? I've got an idea. Baddies! And it's just perfectly done. And it was an excellent issue. And It was some good stuff. So I don't know how you can trade wait for this year, Pab. It's that good. You got to be reading single issues. You got to keep up.
Then what?
Then read it again, and then read it again.
No, I'm content waiting.
Oh, you're a monster. I'm just going to write you a letter telling you. I might write you a letter after every issue telling you my thoughts, and then post them all to you after the trade is out. Yeah,
we'll have the same conversation when the trade comes out.
I won't remember this.
You will.
In fact, I'll probably read the trade when it comes out. I'll read it again.
Yeah.
But it's it was. I mean, I said it about issue 33, the one before the end of the Imperial phase, that it was one of the greatest single issues of a comic book ever, and they've just gone and done it again in the next issue. It's insane.
Good.
Yeah, it's just good. It's good. That's all that needs to be said. And I also read the new issue of Giant Days as well. And we finally establish exactly where they are in present context of Giant Days. So at the end of Giant Days, issue 36, it says end of year 2. So we are at the end of year 2.
You get right. Okay, that's
all right. Okay, because that still, we thought we'd established it, and then the next one I read went against what we'd said. So that makes me
but
feel
this
better.
says it in black and white at the bottom of the last page, end of year 2. So I guess that's now going into its final story, I guess.
I don't know, because it already mentioned that what's the name? One of the characters is on a 7-year course. So
yeah, but the other two aren't.
Yeah, but they're already
going into their final years.
Yeah, but the point is they've already given themselves an out to carry on and just have them stay living with her or something, haven't they?
Yeah, maybe. But again, I don't know that I necessarily want them to do that. I think if this ends on issue 50 after 3 perfect academic years across 50 issues, it's the right sort of size for a collection of, here you go, have your 8 trades to stick on your shelf. You don't want to keep going to the point where you've got 200 issues, because people can't jump on at that point. It just, unless it's going to be ongoing forever, in which case it's going to have to constantly reinvent itself with new characters and it will lose something. So if they're doing it, a story about these 3 people during their time at university, this ends in the next 2 years.
It needs to be that way because it sums up uni. The whole point of it is it makes guys think, university was good. And if it carries on forever, then it's not like being at uni, is it?
Exactly. But they're the only 2 things I read this week, and they were 2 excellent comic issues. I also have Deadly Class number 32 sat there ready to read, but I didn't get onto that. So that's the start of a new arc of Deadly Class as well. So I tell you what, I've got some good comic subscriptions going at the moment. Goodness me.
On my way down to London, I read it was Flash Rebirth, the comic, not the DC Rebirth one. It was like I don't know, 10 years ago they did a. Yeah. But we all know
the Jeff Johns one.
I think so. The one where Flash has been dead for 25 years in real life in this world, and it was basically we're bringing him back. We're going to carry on the world. It was quite interesting reading it because they were saying that for such a major character, they left him dead for a quarter of a century, and just completely left him there. And this was kind of their big moment to say, right, we're going to bring him back and we're going to write this story about it all. And I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's the first time in ages that I finished reading a big, thick comic and just felt that. I mentioned it before when I used to read the Sandman comics and I finished them, my face would just feel warm and weird and I just feel really good because I'd finished this awesome story. And that's how this felt. This was such a good trade paperback story. So I'm guessing it must have been over many comics, at the time. But it was just brilliant. It was perfect. And I basically read it from start to finish in one train journey. So, that might have helped it feel awesome. But it had all the sort of, reverse Flash and the whole Flash family and, is it Bart Allen and all of them? So all of the characters that ever built up in it were in it. They made lots of points about Wally West obviously being the Flash longer than Barry Allen had been the Flash, and longer than Barry Allen had been dead, sort of thing. And it was just really cool. A lot to learn about the whole Flash history and whatnot. It just felt like a really good place to catch up on the Flash and just learn a lot about him. I also started reading Brightest Day, which is the follow-up to Darkest Night. Again, didn't know what to expect. I think I brought it last comic, reading it. I'm not finished it yet, but it is awesome. It changes, it flits between, what's his name? Dead Man? The guy who's dead, I think it's Dead Man. He's got a White Lantern ring, and he keeps just going between different people. So Hawkman and Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, some sort of mind controlling bad guy that I can't remember his name. But it's telling this massive, lots of different characters. It's got a lot of them are dealing with the fact that before Darkest Night, and they got resurrected in that story. So they're all trying to deal with the fact they've been resurrected, or why they've been resurrected over other people. So, what's his name? Who was in Legends of Tomorrow? The guy who's basically a nuclear furnace. What's he bloody called?
What's his face? Yep, I know who you mean.
Yeah. So he, I can't believe I've forgotten the Atom. Not the Atom.
I'm holding the pop vinyl now to see if it prompts my mind, but it doesn't.
Yeah, Professor Stein and Jefferson, or in this Jackson. In Darkest Night, Rory comes back from the dead and merges with Jackson, and they kill Jackson's girlfriend. And so then they're dealing with the aftermath of that because they're still bound to one another. Firestorm? Is that his name?
Maybe.
Yeah. So they're still bound as Firestorm, but they hate each other because they both killed Jackson's girlfriend in the last comic. So, it's great. I've got a feeling there's more parts to this. I have that feeling because it's called Part 1. But I don't know. I don't know what parts there are because it's quite thick. It's quite a thick trade. It's thicker than the Flash one I read. So I don't know how many more. I'm hoping there's like 3 or 4 and I can kind of pick them up over time. But they do a bloody good trade. I just feel like I'm on this massive DC bandwagon at the moment. I didn't realise there was a new Giant Days out. I shall read that tonight before bed. But I've read up to Superman 999. So the 1000 is the next one out. I'm so tempted to buy that special that you've pre-ordered, Pab, but equally, I'm frustrating myself because right now I can't afford to spend. Well, I can afford to spend 20 quid on it, but I want to save that money for Comic-Con tomorrow. But then I know full well, part of me thinks surely it's a piece of history. It'll be worth a fortune in future if I looked after it. Maybe not these days. I don't know. But, the point I'm sort of making is it's something worth having. But equally, I just don't think I can do it.
Don't ever buy comics because you think they're going to be worth something.
No, of course.
They're going to be worth something.
No, of course. That wouldn't have been my reason for buying it. But equally, I know that in 50 years' time, when I see it selling, I see Pab retiring off of his copy of it, I'll be like, if only I'd had 20 quid. But no, I'm not going to regret it for that. I'm more thinking I've read a lot of this now, and I before I got into it, I never thought Superman was that good as a hero because I always thought, well, he's undefeatable. What's the point of him? But I really look forward to reading his comics every month now, and I think this is a proper milestone. I'm glad I'm into it just as he's reaching this. The premise is good. I mean, it's funny because in the ones before it, it's Lois Lane's dad has come into it, and he's very anti-Superman. He's kind of like, I get that he does a lot of good for the world at the moment, but what about when he changes his mind and decides he doesn't like what we're doing, or he's unhappy with a decision we make as humans, and, he has the power to intervene, and what are we going to do about that? He doesn't know that the daughter he's talking to is actually married to Superman. He doesn't know that Clark Kent is Superman. I'm guessing that information will probably be shared with him in the next issue, but it's interesting because he's asking. I know the questions have probably been asked 100 times. I'm sure I've read 3 or 4 stories about this in the past, and obviously Injustice Gods Among Us shows exactly what happens when he does disagree. But yeah, I'm glad they picked that topic, and they seem to be focusing heavily on everyone's dads at the moment in this.
Well, I don't know whether you know this or not. I don't know how much there is truth to this, but I've from what I've gathered, it's more like an annual that's going to be a episode 1,000, so there might not be any storyline in it at all.
Really? Well, I read the premise was that he witnessed the end of the world.
I don't know. I know that Tom King's doing a story in this one.
Ah, right, okay.
So there is, and there might just be a regular issue, maybe like a bumper thing where there's like a series of short stories, like separate things as well.
I'd be pretty miffed if it was just 6 short stories.
Oh, see, that's the reason I'm buying it, because I know I'm not in the loop with these stories, so I just like, well, at least if it's something, if it's just like short stories based around action comics.
I said before, didn't I? There was one the other week that was a little short story of Batman, Superman, and everyone taking some cancer kids to the moon. I shouldn't really call them cancer kids, so that sounded really flippant, but taking it, and I read it and I thought, story, but it was really bizarre. It was just a complete break from everything that was happening to just go to the moon with a load of kids who were ill. And I thought, I love the fact that in that world that's what they would do from time to time. But it was very bizarre, and I just thought it felt like filler. And I don't want the 1000th comic to feel like filler. It felt like it was all building towards a big story. I mean, he's just witnessed the destruction of Krypton and found out, some major stuff about the death of his parents and all these sorts of major things that, like, fundamentally affect the whole story. So it's been building up. I'd expect more blooming small stories about how he saved a couple of cats from a tree or something.
We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see now, won't we?
We're nearly at the end of Dark Metal as well. I was reading that number 6 is the last one on that, so I'm looking forward to that coming out because I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Is that us done?
No.
Poor Pab, sorry for that.
I've got what I've read. I've read the one book again as usual. My homework is to read a book a week. I've read the first volume of Southern Bastards this week.
Language crouch.
That's not.
I censored it out of the vlog when someone sent me this.
Yes, I know you did.
Didn't think to follow my lead then.
No, because I edit it.
I mean, we can all swear.
Yeah, but I'm not taking yours out.
I see.
I'm adding stuff in yours rather than taking stuff out.
You added the pre-show recording you have of it.
Right, so this you've read this, haven't you, Kev?
I have.
Did you recommend this at the time?
Yes.
Yeah, because this is amazing.
It is good.
Is it good? Because I've got it off Humble Bundle.
Yeah, it's
I've had it for
really
ages.
Really, really good. So cool. So cool.
I almost don't like telling people what it's about because that would put me off it. And I want people to read it just on the basis of it's brilliant. Because I think if I'd have known what it was about before I bought it, I don't know that I'd have bought it. If you'd have said to me, it's about a high school American football team and the guy who manages them, I'd have been like, yeah, all right, I'll give this one a miss. But it's just brilliantly done.
Yeah. And the ending for me is it came out of nowhere for me and kind of heartbreaking in many ways. I was so like, I read it, I finished reading it yesterday, and I was just like, kind of like, just dumbstruck by it. I was like, what? What? I couldn't believe that what had just happened.
I think my one, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm on the 3rd or the 4th trade of this now. My one criticism of it as a book is that it feels like it was a 6-issue miniseries that they then extended because it did so well, because it never quite reaches the heights of that first trade again.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a shame. But
it's still really good. It's still really good. It's still worth reading.
Yeah, it's got me in for a volume 2 at least. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. It's, like I say, so good. I mean, everything. The art style's fine. It's just
Sheepdog, what are you doing? Is somebody pumping up a bike tire?
It's not me.
Like he's tapping Morse code. You stop now.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. If anyone hasn't read it, Sheepdog, do so because it is brilliant. It is so good, and well worth however much it costs these days. That's your lot.
It is, and because it's Image, it'll be a £6 first trade, I imagine, at a Comic-Con. Find the right stall.
Yeah. I think
that's how I picked it up. I think it was one of those that year where we discovered the £6 Image trades. I think this is one of the 4 or 5 that I thought, well, these are £6 a go. I'm just going to buy all of the ones that look interesting, and this one's got a rude word in the name. It must be good.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And I think that was literally the thought process I went through. It's £6 and sounds a bit edgy. I'll have a bit of that, and I did not regret it.
Yeah, it's superb.
Right, well, Anna, have you read any comics this week?
No.
Well, we'll move on then. Something about Facebook thing, facebook.com/Mature Gamer Podcast. Twitter is another thing. I mean, I feel it might feel like I'm not selling these, but they're so great. They shouldn't require me asking you to go and use them. I'm just going to make the point that they exist. And if you know what's good for you, you'll go and use them. So the Twitter is at MGUK Podcast, and mine is at Lelujo. No one else has any, so we'll just leave it there.
I think Sheepdog's lost his mic or something. I don't know.
Well, it sounded like, I mean, that when we were mocking him, was he gasping for air and having a heart attack? Is Sheepdog done?
Am I here now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
It's not to explain what he was doing.
1986. No, it doesn't. No, not at all.
What were you doing?
No, the wire came out.
Oh.
What, because you were pumping up a bike tyre? Or...
Right, so when you said, what is that noise, did you not hear me respond?
No.
I've not been plugged in for ages then.
So what was the noise?
I assumed it was Anna.
No, I'm not doing anything.
Well, it stopped the moment they said anything about it, and I wasn't plugged in.
So it was you then?
Who knows? Let's go and enjoy Comic-Con. I've got to pack my bag yet, and I shall see you lot next week.
There we go.
Sorry, Pab.
Myself and you will be at Resd now.
Well, I was already going to be there, Pab. This is
Yes, I know, but no one was coming for you.
Can we stop being mean?
They're all coming because someone's actually asked me in the week if I was going to Resd.
Did they?
So yes. So just confirming, yes.
We're there on Friday the 13th of April, aren't we, I believe?
Yes, that's right. Friday
on Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got a massively hectic convention season starting early for me this year. In the next month and a half, I've got Birmingham Comic Con tomorrow, and then Insomnia on Easter weekend. Then 2 weeks after that is Resd. And then like a couple of weeks, a month after that, it's London Comic Con. So
You
4
don't really
conventions
like
in the
any
next 2
family time,
months.
do you, Gavin?
I like convention time.
You
My
don't like
family
any
should come
family time.
You should all come and join me at conventions.
Well, it's boring. It's always the same.
Exactly. That's why I like it.
That's why we're in there for an hour and we go wandering off after that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we don't have credit cards this year. And that's
It'll be
sad.
fine. We'll
No.
use all these internet monies.
Let's see.
See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Thank you
Bye.
very much for listening.